is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
And good afternoon and welcome to Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with the late Patti Fink. Lerone called us this morning, said he's not feeling well.
He's got cooties.
Yeah, so he's not here. Lerone, get better. That's all I can say, because I need you here next week. I might not be here.
And don't spread it around your family. Then keep it isolated to you.
No, it's kind of hard to do that. I had the cooties and...
I didn't get them.
Well, you got them for a couple days anyway.
And our guests are the Mixed Sprinkles, Katie and Leslie. How are you guys?
Compared to what?
Compared to Lerone, we're doing a lot better.
Well, that's
here.
Oh, yeah.
Katie said she'd like to talk about how gorgeous she is. And Leslie said she would like to talk about food labeling. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about those things.
No. Oh, come on.
Okay, you're gorgeous.
Well, but of course.
These are queer issues.
Yeah, they are.
Katie's beauty, you know.
Before we talk about those things, let's talk about Pledge Drive. This is Pledge Drive, hopefully the last day of Pledge Drive. Do we have a thermometer in the studio to tell us where we are?
No, it's 78. It feels rather warm.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we need it up to 100, so let's go.
Give us a call, 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Or go to our webpage, knon.org, click on the Pledge Now button, and when you get to which show you're pledging to, it doesn't say Lambda Weekly, it has hosts' names. So either scroll down to where it says David or just hit D and it'll automatically go down there. And I'm the second David Taffet.
How about if people have those like jars of change at home?
We've had people bring in.
They can come down and fill in that giant pothole that's so big you have to put a cone in front of it. They can just fill it over with
That
change.
is filled in. It was worse.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, it was a
bring more
chasm.
quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Davids, I have entirely too many Davids in my phone. I have to scroll like 4 times on my iPhone 6 Plus to get to Davids, because there's so many Davids. So I would like to reduce the number of Davids in my phone.
You don't like some of us?
I don't. Well, it's just so many of you.
Speaking of Pledge Drive, there are only 2 at KNON. Speaking of Pledge Drive, it is Pledge Drive, 972-647-1893. That's 46. That is not 469. It is 972-647-1893.
Isn't that number like written on everything around here?
It is.
For Pete's sake.
Yeah, for 30 years it's been written, and I still don't know the number. I'm not good at numbers. We have a couple of special pledge premiums. The KNON 18th Annual Mardi Gras Gumbo Party is Sunday, February 24th. Doors and gumbo at 4 p.m. I love doors. And music at 5 p.m. Oh, yep. The door's open.
Yes, the door's open.
Got it. Okay, I thought you got a door at 4 p.m.
Do you put like salt and pepper on them?
No, I do.
Do you like your
usually,
doors?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's at Poor David's Pub, located at 1313 South Lamar in Dallas, featuring gumbo from 10-plus gumbo chefs. Live music from Grammy Award winner from Louisiana, Chubby Carrier. We have $100 gets you 2 VIP tickets, or $125 gets a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. Give us a call, 972-647-1893. You have one, Patti.
I do. For a $50 pledge, you get a pair of tickets to another event at Poor David's Pub in Dallas. Igor and the Red Elvises. It's a Saturday night with singing, dancing, bacon, closet disco dancers, and more. That's March 2nd. It's a Saturday, March 2nd. Doors open at 8. Igor and the Red Elvises will play 2 sets. So we have a pair of tickets for those, and $50 get you into that show,
including bacon. And that is one thing about these, especially the gumbo party, includes lots and lots of food.
Yep.
So for that $100, you are, and that's for 2 tickets. You're getting your money's worth. We also have tickets for the 37th annual North Texas Irish Festival. That's March 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's one of the largest Celtic cultural events in the nation, with entertainment, music, food, drink, cultural crafts, and more. It's for all ages. It's at Dallas Fair Park. We have 3 pairs of tickets for a pledge of $40. It gets you the pair of tickets, or $70 gets you a pair of tickets and a T-shirt, hat, or apron. The tickets are good for one day only. So the festival is March 8th, 9th, 10th, but it's for one day of the festival. And you have one more.
I do. For $500, you can be an elite music sponsor, and you get a bonus pack if you sign up now at 972-647-1893. You get to see Brian Ferry at the orchestra section at the Majestic Theater. Your seats are reserved. And with the elite sponsor package, you get 2 tickets to every KNON benefit show throughout the year. And you get T-shirts, any 2 T-shirts to show off at events and around town. So if you're for $500, you get 2 tickets to everything KNON does for a year.
And the number is
972-647-1893.
That's 972-647-1893. Like I said, our guests today are the McSprinkle sisters.
Sisters.
Whatever.
Yeah, they're shacked up and hitched.
Yeah, we are.
Did we suddenly get into a Game of Thrones episode here?
I don't know. This is scary.
Well, one of us is married. I don't know. Where's your hardware?
I left it at home.
I never take my hardware off.
I never do either. I shower with everything.
Yeah. The only thing I sometimes take it off for is to cut up chicken.
She just takes it off when she's mad at me.
Aww. Is that now?
I guess.
Ooh.
No, I don't sleep with it on, and
You sleeping?
well, a little bit, yeah. Because you people are putting me to sleep.
When
so.
the McSprinkles are on, we usually talk about transgender issues, don't we, Patty?
We do.
Do you have a transgender issue that you would like to address with our lovely
Ask
guests?
us anything.
Well, I saw, we have it on DVR, so we haven't watched it yet, but I see that Don Cheadle was on SNL last night and proudly sporting a Protect Trans Kids t-shirt.
I know, that's a big deal. It's a big deal on a lot of levels, because it's on NBC, a national broadcast. It's very well known. Don Cheadle, really famous guy, and the reaction to it on social media has been so overwhelmingly positive. It warms my heart. It makes me feel like we've turned a corner, because there's so much bad, that we hear about legislatively and being involved in activism and advocacy. We constantly focus on defending ourselves from evil, but to see something like that and to see the country react, I think they're getting it. I think they're understanding that we're here, we're not going anywhere, and we just are who we are. We don't pose a threat to anyone.
Yeah,
You've always been here.
Yeah.
And one word in that 3-word slogan, I think people got.
Yeah.
That's kids.
Yeah.
Protect trans kids.
Yeah.
And these bathroom bills last year
Largely attack kids in schools.
It wasn't about where you can go to the bathroom in the mall.
No.
There are single individual bathrooms like at North Park or most malls.
But it was schools,
it was kids in schools.
And Betsy DeVos, the education secretary, who's a joke, but she has said through the Department of Education and Justice that they won't even take a complaint from a transgender kid in schools complaining about inequality or bullying or anything like that. They won't even listen to the complaint. They just have completely shut that avenue off.
It's the la 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 la. You're not there.
So to see the rest of America say, you know what, we care about these kids and they matter, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got an administration that is just absolutely so completely tone deaf. I mean, David, you were talking about it before the show. Pence goes and he's talking to an audience about, he brings well wishes from President of the United States, and there was nothing.
It's dead silence.
And it's like, really? What else would you expect? I mean, Trump goes to the UN and starts patting himself in the back, and they laughed at him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they continue to basically just create this false reality that they live in, that somehow they're beloved, they're respected, and they're none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And in their world, that world is limited to essentially white straight people, white straight Christian people. And they don't see anybody else. Nobody else exists in the country. Nobody else pays their taxes. Nobody else is a U.S. citizen. It's just that little group. And that's just false. Yeah.
Well, and when you look at the policies that this administration has tried to put forward, they have pandered to those two groups, the hardcore right-wing Christian group and the overwhelmingly white, although there are some minorities in the Trump camp, but overwhelmingly it's the anti-immigration,
which is pretty bigoted.
Yeah.
You listen to that so-called base, and they're pretty vile. I mean, I'm embarrassed that they exist in our country to the degree that they do, but they have no shame. It used to be if you were a racist, you were, in the closet, so to speak, about it. And today they just vomit their garbage everywhere.
I thought that, and then the governor of Virginia, on his medical school yearbook page, has a picture of himself, or has a picture of somebody in blackface and somebody from the Klan. It's disturbing on so many levels. First of all, okay, I get that people didn't understand the nuances of blackface.
He was an adult.
I'm going more than just him, though.
Okay.
I get that people didn't get that completely. But the Klan? Did anybody really think the Klan was okay? Now, here's the other thing that I'm not getting. Okay, he's saying it was as a young person, but it was his medical school yearbook page.
And
so the next
year,
year,
medical school is just weird anyway.
Well, but the next year he was going to be out treating patients. I worry about the judgment. But then the other thing that bothers me about it is yearbooks have faculty that look at them before they go to the printer. Didn't that bother anybody?
Yeah, you can blame the sensibilities of the time because it was back in the, late 70s, I guess?
80s.
No, it was mid-80s.
Mid-80s, okay, so it's still 30 years ago, but you would think somebody would catch that and go, not funny, don't do it, that's not going in the yearbook. Yeah, I'm shocked that nobody caught that.
That's what's bothering me about it, that nobody caught it. I get that, okay, he was an immature, 20-whatever-year-old, 25-year-old, 26-year-old, something like that. I get that. Nobody at that school thought there was anything wrong with it?
Well, I think what this may be a symptom of is how compartmentalized the country has actually been, where there were pockets where evidently, and in this area where he was clearly not the only pocket of this that existed, where they cocooned themselves off. They built their own little private wall, and behind which they would show their true colors and then hide it from the rest of us. And obviously there was a system in place. Somebody's looking at a yearbook picture going, oh yeah, this would be dandy to put in there. And now we look at it and we're astounded. And again, I think Patty's point's well taken, that we thought this was something where these people were an embarrassment, but apparently they were just hiding in larger groups than what I think we realized that they were. And I think the Trump candidacy and the subsequent election gave them permission to come out of the hiding. It makes me think back to, remember in the late 80s, the big Geraldo episode where he had, these young neo-Nazis on, and some advocates for African American and Jewish American people, and of course the big brawl started.
Imagine that.
And it how shocked so many people were that visceral hate.
To put this
still
into
existed.
a time perspective, Lambda Weekly was already on the air when he graduated from medical school.
Right.
I can't imagine us printing or talking about in a positive way blackface. I certainly can't imagine that we were talking positively about the Klan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I say that Lambda Weekly was on the air, this is my segue. It is Pledge Drive. And we haven't had any calls today. We're doing okay on Pledge Drive this pledge, but we haven't quite made our goal yet, and we do need a few more calls today. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Josh's are standing by, or you can go to our webpage, and the webpage looks exactly like what we're filling out. So it's very easy to fill out. We just want your contact information, how you're paying, what pledge premium you would like, and
Or you could drive by and throw money out the window.
no, you have to come in. You have to come in. It'll blow away on the outside there. But also what show you're pledging to, and this is the David Taffet Show for purposes of the of the pledge drive. It's not show name; it's by person's name. Most of our shows are not named after a person, so it's interesting.
You know what disturbs me is this laptop that's in front of me now has the KNON program schedule up, and we're listed as talk.
Well, we are a talk show. Because it's what we're
there's
doing.
Jewish music, and then there's talk, and then there's Ethiopian.
Oh, it doesn't say Lambda Weekly.
No, we're just talk.
Just talk.
Because I know we're under the category of talk. If you're looking for us on the
happy
website.
talk show.
972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. We have tickets if you would like them for the North Texas Irish Festival, which is March 8th, 9th, and 10th, for the annual Gumbo Party, which is February 24th. That's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yes.
What's today's date?
The 17th.
17th, so it's like in a week. It's next Sunday. Gumbo Festival is a lot of fun, a lot of food, and really worth it. That one is for a $100 pledge for 2 tickets. That's $50 a ticket with food and music. You're getting your money's worth there. And Patty, you have Brian Ferris? Brian Ferry.
He will be performing at the Majestic Theater on Wednesday, August 21st at 8 p.m. And if you become an Elite Music sponsor, those are bonus tickets that you get with the all of the things that you get with being an Elite Music sponsor, which is 2 tickets to everything KNON does. And it's an awesome thing.
That's 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893, or go to knon.org and hit pledge now.
There's people in Highland Park that spend more money than that on lawn care.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you have one other.
And I have one other, and that is Igor and the Red Elvises.
And that's what date?
March 2nd, Saturday, March 2nd. For a $50 pledge, you get a pair of tickets to see Igor and the Red Elvises at Poor David's Pub in Dallas. It's a Saturday night with singing, dancing, bacon, may I repeat, bacon, closet disco dancers, and more. Doors open at 8, and Igor and the Red Elvises will play 2 sets. So call now, 972-647-1893, and for a $50 pledge, you support Lambda Weekly on KNON, and you get a pair of tickets to Igor and the Red Elvises.
And we'll be back with more Lambda Weekly right after this.
This is Rollins Gilliland, and I'm listening to Lambda Weekly on 89.3, and darn glad to be doing it.
And this is Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio without Lerone Landis, but with the late Patti Fink. And it is Pledge Drive 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Or go to knon.org and hit the Pledge Now button. That's really the easiest way to do it. We need the exact same information on the website, and that way you get to look at what all the pledge premiums are. I'm not discouraging you from calling because Josh is just sitting here not doing anything.
Standing.
And he does it so well. Yeah. We really appreciate it.
Doing it.
And our guest today is the McSprinkles. Leslie, you had something else you wanted to say about.
Do you follow John Pavlovitz online or on Facebook? He's fascinating. He writes fairly prolifically. But there's a quote here that kind of talks about how all of the nonsense that comes out of Trump's mouth gets normalized. And the quote is, and I want to write this down somewhere, but he said, "When you believe one man above science, our intelligence agencies, former CIA directors, retired generals, and revered journalists, when you believe that one man above even your own eyes and ears, you're fully indoctrinated into a cult."
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's scary.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that the cult is only, I don't know, 20, 30 million. Could be worse. But there's an awful lot of people that are still buying the crap, and they're seeing it, they're hearing it, but they give this guy a pass. It's amazing. But he's made of this kind of Teflon that I don't think I've ever seen before, because he can do terrible things, and they write it off. It's like, oh, that's okay.
They cheer him on.
They cheer him on. Woo! But then if someone else does the same thing, they're vilified. But they don't make the connection that there's a hypocrisy there. And that sounds like a charismatic cult leader. I mean, if he starts passing around bottles of Kool-Aid, I'm running for the hills.
Well, he said, though, I mean, he basically laughed at these people himself when he said that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York
and murder
in broad
somebody.
daylight and shoot somebody, and he wouldn't lose a vote. He was laughing at them because they'll
right.
believe anything.
He's right. That's the scary thing.
Yep, he's absolutely right about them. They are that stupid and that gullible.
Now, Ann, Patty, you had a quote from Ann Coulter that you
Yeah, if Ann
agreed
Coulter
with.
turns on you.
Yeah, when
Oh
Ann
my
Coulter,
God.
when you're far extreme right and Ann Coulter turns on you, you know that there's something out of whack there. Do you have that quote?
I'm pulling it up because it was fascinating to me that I actually agreed with something Ann Coulter said.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking.
I found it a little bit
go wash
sickening.
my hands.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, take
Yeah.
a shower or something soon. Let me find it here.
And we can come back to that.
Yeah.
No, I think we should totally lay out on her.
No, I think we should mention that it is Pledge Drive. The number to call here is 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Josh is standing by, and to take your call, Patty also has a computer in front of her. Yes, I said computer here at KNON. We have computers now. It is shocking. It is shocking. I walked into the studio a few weeks ago, saw computers at our desks, and I was like, no, they've moved ahead of me technologically.
I hear the Commodore 64 is a wonderful computer,
It is.
too.
It is. And do you know, it just keeps working and working.
You'll never need more than 1024.
No.
And the
I'm
great
with
thing
you.
about these computers is that none of them are stamped property of the Dallas Public Library. We didn't have to steal anything.
Okay, so Ann Coulter was correcting somebody on Twitter who had talked about the goal of the national emergency is to end illegal immigration, blah, 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 blah. She said, no, the goal of a national emergency is for Trump to scam the stupidest people in his base for 2 more years.
Pretty much.
And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm agreeing with her.
Yeah.
But doesn't that go against everything she's been saying for the last 2 years? Or that doesn't matter?
Oh, she thinks he hasn't gone far enough. That he should never have agreed to this bill. He should have shut the government down and stuck it out for the full amount of money, rather than going to a national emergency and taking it from the military.
We
I
don't
really
need an
wish
okay
that-
wall. We need a fantastic wall.
I really wish that he had, because at the end of this last shutdown, the Republicans in Congress were then starting to really get nervous, prompt another shutdown that might have been able to break them all together, because part of the problem here is that Congress has not been fulfilling their obligation as a check, because the Republicans, mainly Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, have been cowering to everything Trump wants. And
That's not the way that Congress works.
No.
They say, well, we're only going to pass something that he'll approve and sign. Well, that's not how our government works.
Nope.
yeah.
Just like we wait for him to tell us what legislation to pass. No. People pass in Congress what they believe to be right and true and best for our country. And if he doesn't like it, he has veto power. But you don't only do the things that he'll sign. That's not leadership. That's not
Yeah, you
leadership.
got to put it on his table. You got to make sure that if this is what your bill is, you put it forward.
Make him take a position.
Make him take a position.
Make him
exactly.
veto
Make
it.
him veto it.
But yeah, McConnell won't bring things up for vote. Boehner did the same thing when he was Speaker. If it was controversial, they just wouldn't bring it up for a vote. In fact, in the House, they had changed the House rules so that only the Republican leadership could call for a vote.
It's insane.
And
It's a new day, though.
yeah,
It's a new day in the House.
at least in the House.
And I want to go to the legislature for a minute.
Texas.
Yes. Now, Paxton, our Attorney General, he's under indictment for
Security
felony. Yeah.
Okay, so his wife is now a senator from Collin County. She just introduced legislation that will allow manipulation that he did, make that legal.
She should be visiting him in prison.
Absolutely. Absolutely, she should.
Like anybody else.
And she's proposing legislation that would give somebody who is currently under indictment for this type of crime the ability to make decisions about that kind of crime. Really?
Yeah, that's so corrupt. They're all so corrupt.
It's conflict of interest doesn't even.
They don't even know what that is.
Do you think maybe one-term senator there?
Or indicted senator.
Oh, well, yeah.
We would have done so much better.
Well, indicted Attorney General won again.
We would have done so much better with Mark Ferris. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
We did have a little victory locally. Leslie, you were involved in that in Carrollton.
Yeah, I was involved in a real small way, just basically standing up and speaking in front of the Carrollton City Council. But yeah, what they were wanting to do is to try and get non-discrimination ordinances around in various cities. And the one in Carrollton was a nice victory, and I applaud the Carrollton City Council for standing up and doing the right thing. It passed 5-2. We had a former Baptist preacher, one of the people that was voting against, so didn't like it on religious grounds. But I had to laugh at the Texas Freedom Caucus, who labeled this the Ban the Bible ordinance, because I read the ordinance and it didn't have the word Bible anywhere in it or talk about religion anywhere in it. All it did is really offer simple protections, not for all of the residents of Carrollton, which would be nice one day, but it was nice to have for city employees and contractors. They added protections for people of sexual orientation, gender identity, pregnancy status, veterans, I believe is those.
We're going to have to protect veterans?
Yeah, we're going to have to protect
the state of
veterans
Texas
here.
does not have any
Right.
protections.
No, they don't.
No
And
workplace
so-
protections, no public accommodation
Right, so the
protections.
NDOs that are enacted, if they're trying to yank all of them away, they would lose all of the protections for veterans
And
statewide.
pregnant women we're going to have to
Pregnant
protect?
women, yeah.
I can't believe we're going to have to protect pregnant women.
Yeah, because it's so nice to be able
Do you
to
know-
fire someone when you find out they're pregnant, huh?
You know, when you make a choice to be a pregnant woman, because we all made choices here.
Anyway, it was
I
nice
find
to
it
see.
interesting, though, that anybody would discriminate against somebody who's pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, you think
yeah.
of that as being just a wonderful thing, and
It was
Did you hear
interesting. One of the arguments against this bill from another one of the city council members, there was two, like I said, that opposed it, and one of them said, "Well, we just don't discriminate in Carrollton at all, so we don't need this." And I thought, if you don't discriminate, then who's it going to hurt? And if you don't discriminate, go ahead and put it on there. It won't change anything. But if you do discriminate, and it has been a problem, this would help fix it.
Here's what
and
he
it's
doesn't
kinda like-
understand.
It's like the same logic as if you're going to build a city, and you're going to say, we're going to have this new city, and we just don't believe in encumbering people with a bunch of laws, so we're just going to say drive carefully and be courteous. We're not going to put up street signs, stop signs.
Here's what he
signals,
doesn't
speed
understand.
limits.
From the
Print those
top,
ticket books.
No.
you know, from the top, from the city council, they're not interested in discriminating against
No.
everybody, anybody, and they're sincere in that. What they're not understanding is there are people who work for the city who don't get it, and you're putting it in writing to just say, this is who we are.
Yeah.
This is the same argument that ExxonMobil did for years when ExxonMobil merged with Mobil when they became ExxonMobil. Mobil had domestic partnership benefits for their employees. They had workplace protections for people based on sexual orientation. I don't think they had gender identity at the time, but they did have sexual orientation. And when Exxon basically bought them, they did away with that. They even had partnership benefits, and people lost their health insurance when they became part of ExxonMobil. And we protested that for years and years. And that's a whole nother show talking about just ExxonMobil. But their story was, oh well, we don't discriminate against anybody.
Yeah, in their work group, they were talking about, they said, well, why do we need protections that are over and above what the state offers? Why don't we just have the protections that the state offers? And my comments later were that those protections are no protections for people like me that can be denied housing, can be denied employment, can be denied medical care, can be denied a whole litany of things. Not that we always are, but some people can, and they'll use that excuse. So if it's there, it offers protection, and more than anything else, it sends a message, because Capel is competing with Irving and Farmers Branch, and or Carrollton is competing with Capel, Irving, Farmers Branch, a whole bunch of cities around there. So many of them have protections. So if I'm going to go and move to a city and those type of protections matter to me, that's where I want to move to. Mm-hmm. That's where I want to start a business. That's where I want my employees to be.
And why don't we just do the ones that the state has? Well, the state doesn't protect veterans.
No.
You think it's okay to discriminate against veterans?
Well, the state also thinks it's okay to discriminate against pregnant women. Mm-hmm. And they don't care that children go without health care. So the state hasn't set the bar real high.
Yeah, so if we don't need to enunciate our protections, then let's pull out religion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If we don't need to enunciate, to say, well, we don't discriminate, so let's pull religion out. Mm-hmm. How's that work? Is that okay on you?
It's exactly the same thing.
Age and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Speaking of age, it's the 37th annual North Texas Irish Festival, and it's only the 35th year that we've had KNON.
I can almost smell the cabbage.
The North Texas Irish Festival is March 8th, 9th, and 10th. For a pledge, because it is pledge drive, of $40, you get a pair of tickets. It's the largest Celtic festival one of the largest Celtic festivals in the nation. It's at Fair Park. $40 gets a pair of tickets. $70 gets a pair of tickets and a T-shirt, hat, or apron. The Gumbo Festival party is at Poor David's Pub next Sunday. $100 gets 2 VIP tickets, or $125 gets a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. For that one, because it's coming up that quick, we need to have it on a credit card. And give us a call, 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893.
And we have for a $50 pledge, you get a pair of tickets to see Igor and the Red Elvises on Saturday, March 2nd at Poor David's Pub in Dallas. It's a Saturday night with singing, dancing, bacon, and I repeat, bacon, closet disco dancers, and more. So the doors open at 8. Igor and the Red Elvises will play 2 sets. So for a $50 pledge...
And bacon at 9.
Bacon at 9. Bacon all the way through.
All the way through.
$50 pledge, get your pair of tickets. So give us a call, 972-647-1893.
And when you pledge to KNON, you are pledging to a radio station that is very, very frugal with our money. No large salaries, no fancy studio. I mean, we do have a studio, and it's a lovely studio, but it's not a city block, and it's not special whatever. It's a great studio, works great for us. Our tower lease increased this year. Have to have our tower in order to get the signal out, but it increased this year. The office rent increased this year. If you want to pay today's rent, make a pledge for $145. That's what our rent is, $145 a day. Our postage has increased, and postage is going up again. It costs us about $1,000 in postage because we have computers now, and maybe we can use more email. But what we can't do is send out the pledge premiums by email, so those go out by postage. Anyway, postage has increased. But we have a total expenses at the station are about $63,000 a month. Our phone services are over $2,000 a month. You can pay today's phone bill by paying a $70 pledge. Why is our phone bill so big? Because we have to get the signal from the studio in North Dallas down to the tower in Cedar Hill. And
that's a local call.
It is a local call, but it's special phone lines that they charge out the butt for. So give us a call. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. It would be nice if you made that $70 pledge if your T-shirt said, instead of just KNON, it said, I paid KNON's phone bill today.
Yeah, we should start. They should get T-shirts for that. Yes.
That
I
would
think
be
so.
awesome.
I think so. But give us a call, 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Why don't we take our break a couple of minutes early? And this is Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with Ann Coulter, and our guests are the McSprinkles. And did you ever read that? Oh, you did read it. Your Ann Coulter quotes?
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to say, we'll
Talk
come
about
back.
aging.
Yeah, I'm not listening. I'm just talking today. We'll be back with more Lambda Weekly right after this.
Hi, this is Valletta Lil, and I listen to Lambda Weekly. I hope that you will too.
And welcome back to Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with the late Patti Fink, good friend of Ann Coulter's.
Right.
You agreed.
I agreed with her on one thing.
It's enough.
Yeah, at this point.
Our guests are Katie and Leslie McSprinkle, and Advocacy Day is coming up.
It is.
There's a separate one for the trans community, but the trans community will then be joining the LGBT Advocacy Day.
Anybody can go to that.
Yeah. Well, anybody can go
To either.
to either one.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, people that aren't transgender advocating for us would be wonderful to go and knock on a few doors and say, I'm not part of that group, but I believe in their civil rights and human rights, and I think you should support them. That'd be great. We'd love it. Everybody's welcome. But yeah,
When are
that's
they?
March 7th, and then the other would be on the 18th.
And when you go, you don't just go down to Austin and walk into people's offices. There's a meeting point. Are both of them at the Methodist Church?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They usually are.
Yeah.
Look out for it. If you're looking to go, there's some lobby training that goes on. And,
Advocacy training.
Advocacy training. And so it's usually at First Methodist Church, which is about a block from the Capitol. It's if you're facing north, it's to the left.
Right.
So
it's about 2 blocks.
west, about 2 blocks west of the Capitol.
Yeah, I have it as 1300 Lavaca.
Right. So that Advocacy Day, what are some of the things that you're going to be advocating for?
I would say right now it depends, because we're looking at the bills that are filed, and we certainly want to be, the last 2 sessions we've been very reactive, but right now it looks like we may have the opportunity to be proactive, and that is for things like comprehensive anti-bullying, statewide law to protect children, kind of like with the Don Cheadle on Saturday Night Live, is, I can take care of myself, but for kids in school, it's hard enough going to middle school. That's a beating anyway, and being different from other people and not having protections is just wrong.
How will this be different than the bullying bill that passed a few sessions ago?
Beats me.
Oh, okay. Because we do have a bullying bill, and it wasn't the best bullying bill in the world, but it was something, and it was a start.
Yeah.
So.
Another great bill that's been introduced by Representative Celia Israel, who's been a guest on our show before, and is an out lesbian, part of that new Texas LGBT caucus in the Texas House. She's introduced a bill that will ban conversion therapy in the state of Texas.
On minors.
Would like to see that. Would like to see it easier for people to change their name and gender marker. And every year it seems like a bill comes up for that, but it never gets out of committee.
Katie,
nice.
How hard is it to change? Because you're an attorney. How hard is it to change name and gender
Depends
marker?
what county you live
or
in.
does it?
Well, out of 254 counties in the state of Texas, there are 3 that you have judges that are willing to sign off on.
That's it.
And that's it. So if you live outside the Dallas area, outside the Austin area, outside the San Antonio area, we hope soon to be able to add the Houston area to that list.
And Houston, which is Houston itself is bigger than Dallas and San Antonio put
together. It's the 4th
together.
largest city in America.
And you can't do a gender marker change there, or
not reliably.
Not reliably. Okay.
No. In fact, for a while there was a presiding judge there that had issued an administrative order that funneled all those things into her court so that she could promptly deny them. Because there were judges who were willing to do it, but they were being blocked by sort of a Republican establishment there. Fortunately, most, if not all, of those judges lost, and now there is a Democratic stronghold there. And there are a number of groups that are working to get those judges trained in how they could help add the Houston area as a county where you could reliably get that done.
So, Leslie, you said the 3 places where you can do it are Wichita Falls, Lubbock, and Amarillo?
Yeah, and Smith County, too, really friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, free gender marker corrections with tombstone purchase.
So it really, I mean, here in Dallas, we don't think of it as being anything other than something you do, one of those things that you check off if you're transitioning.
One of the steps you have to take, and it's just part of sort of the overall process. But when you live outside this area, you just absolutely...
I mean, if you live in Houston has a huge transgender population. They all had to go to San Antonio as the closest.
Yep.
So
San Antonio, a lot of them come here, a lot of them go to Austin, a lot of them go to San Antonio. Hopefully that will cease to be a problem. But like I said, there are at least 3 groups that I'm aware of that are actively in the process of training the folks down there. And we're doing more here in the Dallas area to try and facilitate getting these done. The UNT Law School has started a clinic, and part of what the students will be doing is trying to help people who can't afford the cost and fees associated with it to get through the process, so that we can help those that are financially challenged to get that done.
Speaking of financially challenged, it is Pledge Drive, and we are KNON.
Candy would remark what a great segue that was.
Thank you. The number here, we could use a couple more calls on today's Pledge Drive to help us finish out our and make our goal. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. I know we have a couple of people who are going to our website, which is knon.org, and making their pledge there. It's the exact same form. And now that it's computerized, those pledge premiums are going out quickly. Sometimes they didn't always go out so quickly because all of it was done on paper before. 972-647-1893 or knon.org and hit the Pledge Now button. Katie, you are going to UT Dallas to the Lavender Commencement.
I am.
And that's your alma mater.
Yes, I graduated from UT Dallas in 1990, and so I was recently contacted to come out and speak to an international student about navigating the name and gender portion, and I got to meet some folks in their gender center, and they asked me to come and be their speaker at their Lavender graduation this year.
That's so awesome.
You know, UT Dallas, before Patti got to the studio, we were comparing our alma mater. You know, UT Dallas consistently ranks one of the best schools for LGBTQ students in the state, and Patti
went to Baylor.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Sick'em Bears.
So, you know, we may not have a killer football team, but we got a pretty good chess team.
Yeah, I think we have a sexually assaulting football team, but that's another story too.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just stick to
700 other people in the old.
But luckily, that's just an elective.
Patti, let's stick to how they sued their own alumni for who are gay and lesbian and transgender for wanting to raise money for them and calling themselves gay and lesbian and transgender.
Yeah,
and Baylor in the same breath.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you ceased and desisted and stopped donating.
Well, my school.
But when they call about donating, I let them go on, and I talk them up a little while, and then when they get to the hard ask, I say, I probably would donate a lot of money, but here's why I don't. So. So anyway, they take up 10 minutes where they could have moved on if I just said no thank you and hung up.
No,
let's
let 'em go.
take
Yeah.
a little time to do this.
So, Katie, what is a lavender graduation as opposed to the general graduation? Are these the LGBT kids who've been thrown out of general graduation?
Well, it's a situation where students who may not be out to parents and family may not feel as comfortable really expressing themselves, whether it be their presentation, whether it be their love interests, so they can come to the lavender graduation and really just be themselves.
So it actually is a graduation
but they still
ceremony.
get to go to a regular commencement
if they want.
yes, and so they apply for it and say yes, we want to participate in it, and they have a commencement speaker. I'm sure the regular commencement speaker won't be anywhere near as fantastic as I will be, but
So what are you going to be talking about? You have time to write it still.
I have time to write it. It's May 7th. The mantra that I always talk about is that, I can talk the talk because I survived the walk. And the benefit to people like me who have survived that walk is I can talk about the things that we do because, we're going to win. History is going to show that we are on the right side of history, and we're going to win this through winning the hearts and minds. And you do that with love and compassion and understanding, not with fear and hatred, which is what our opponents like to use. And so the main theme of what I'm going to talk about is for every day is an opportunity to win one more heart, one more mind, and as future graduates of this school, making it a better place for that future generation to come in and keeping
Okay,
us.
Patty, now you don't have to go because you heard it.
I'll throw some stuff in there.
Well, I must say though, we went last Sunday to see Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State of the United States, and she was absolutely compelling for about 2 hours and wonderful stories. But there were two that I remember most that were really fascinating to me. One was that she said one of the favorite things she did was to officiate at citizenship ceremonies, and one of the people she had given her papers to had gone to his family and friends and said, "Isn't this wonderful? A refugee got his naturalization papers from the United States Secretary of State." And she went over to him and tapped him on the shoulder and she goes, "Isn't it wonderful that a refugee became the United States Secretary of State?" Because she was born in Czechoslovakia and they fled Czechoslovakia and came to the United States. And the other
during
was
World War II.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And the other story was she said she was going through the airport and she has this newfound anonymity with a whole new generation of people who don't know who she is. And she was putting her stuff on the conveyor belt and she had these little bottles and this woman behind her said, "Where did you get those containers? Those are great." She said, "Well, at the container store." And she went through the metal detector and the TSA agent on the other side said, oh my gosh, it's you. I'm from Bosnia and you saved Bosnia. There would be no Bosnia without you." And he went on and was praising her and got his picture taken with her and stuff. And so she went to the other side of the conveyor belt to pick up her stuff as it came through. And of course, the same woman behind her was behind her on the conveyor belt. And she said, "Oh, well, what was that all about?" She says, "Well, I used to be the Secretary of State." And the woman said, "Of Bosnia?" She was great. She has a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's really
It's like our current Secretary of State has a great sense of humor.
to think who that was. I tried to block it out of my
Pompeo.
mind.
Yeah, it's called mental blocks.
Speaking of mental blocks, it is Pledge Drive. And we still need a couple of calls to finish out our pledge goal for this quarter. Our number is 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. We have some tickets to give away. These were multiple tickets, so but we still have some for each of the giveaways. KNON's 18th annual Mardi Gras Gumbo Party is Sunday, February 24th. That's next Sunday. It's at Poor David's Pub. Chubby Carrier is the live music. 10 plus gumbo chefs will be there. It's $100 gets you 2 VIP tickets. $125 gets you a pair of tickets and a T-shirt.
The VIP tickets are really important because you get there, the doors open at 4, and you get first in line for gumbo. Because the gumbo's going to go. It's going to go quickly. So
A pledge of $3.29 will pay for 1 day of pens, paper clips, and Febreze for the bathroom.
Call us now. 972-647-1893.
We have tickets for the North Texas Irish Festival. It's held at Fair Park. $40 gets you a pair of tickets. The tickets are good for 1 day. It's a 3-day festival, but it'll get you in once. $40 gets you a pair of tickets. $70 gets you a pair of tickets and a T-shirt, hat, or apron.
And we have, for a $50 pledge, a pair of tickets to see Igor and the Red Elvises at Poor David's Pub in Dallas on Saturday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. It's a Saturday night with singing, dancing, bacon, and closet disco dancers and more. So for a $50 pledge, you could go see Igor and the Red Elvises and eat bacon.
Meet Kevin Bacon?
And the number is
6 degrees from Kevin.
972-647-1893. If you're hearing that now and you don't want to call in but want to go online, do it quickly if you want one of those sets of tickets. And make sure that you pull down the show menu and go to David Taffet. It's not by show name, it's by host of the show. And you can write in one of these tickets if we're already off the air at the time that you make your pledge, because it's limited number of tickets, but those tickets were reserved for our show. So 972-647-1893 or KNON.org and go to Pledge Now. Just quickly, mayor and council races in Dallas. Record number of people running.
Oh, big time.
I think everyone's running, aren't they?
Pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone
who is
everywhere.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are all the incumbents are being challenged.
It's an amazing.
Well,
level of
everybody
interest,
is being challenged. There
Why
isn't
do you
an
think that is?
unchallenged race.
Why do you think that is?
I personally think it's because, when back in the day when we had at-large candidates, they were really from far north Dallas and white.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to 14-1 and $50 a meeting. And only the wealthy or self-employed or somebody who could live on that and do the job, which is 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I think that they were the only ones who were really able to get elected and serve. And now, for the last many years, since the council passed law and code for the city of Dallas, where council members and the mayor get paid a decent wage. Council members get $60,000 a year, and the mayor gets $80,000. That's a livable wage, and one that you can actually, support you as you do every ribbon cutting, all of these meetings that you must go to all the time, on top of what you have to do at City Hall. And it opened up for leaders in all of our neighborhoods to step up and emerge as the next generation of leadership and run and win and be successful. And be able to have a decent living. So it's not just the wealthy who run the city.
Right.
I think that's made a huge change. And every election over election, we see people stepping up in great numbers. So
interesting that you say that, because we were before the show talking about Harvey Milk, and when Harvey first moved to San Francisco, their city supervisors there were at large, and they had just converted to districts. And when he was elected, that was the most diverse city council, which they call city supervisors there, that they had up to that point, for the exact same reason. Only the wealthy and
which are usually white.
Right. We need to go. We're just about out of time. For all of us here at Lambda Weekly, have a good week. Be best.